Reddit Stories channel. If you would like me to go ahead and read your Reddit stories, please send them to me in the description below. I will read them on this channel and give you my opinions, and the people in the comments will also give you theirs. Today's video is about Julia. She has taken over a business that her father created. Her father recently became ill, and her siblings are not wanting to do a bunch of work that is required for the business, and so Julia is taking over most of it. And so now Julia doesn't want to go ahead and continue paying the two brothers who are doing no work. So getting into this story, Julia is the middle sibling. She is 33 years old. Cam is the youngest sibling. He is 23, and Jim is the oldest. He is 35. According to Julia, back in the day, Jim used to sell drugs and he got in trouble, and so he is unable to get another job. He is a felon and he's struggling to go ahead and get a good job. Tim is just spoiled because when Jim went ahead and got in trouble for drugs, they were now dealing with Tam and they just gave him everything he wanted so they can continue dealing with Jim and his problems. But Julia had to go ahead and deal with all the problems herself, and she had to deal with a sibling who has a ton of problems and an entitled sibling who took advantage of those problems. So Tam, he did go to college, but he went to college for a public speaking degree, and he is not going ahead and public speaking in any way. He has a business of his own, but Tam doesn't go ahead and use that business. He doesn't do any day-to-day operations. All he does is go ahead and collect a paycheck from this business. He's been doing this for years. This business is a lawn care business where he has 8 people going around different lawns, and he will do power washing on the side and different odd jobs like that. He started this business when he was a teenager, and when he went to college, he started hiring out his friends. His parents were paying the paychecks of his friends. They also paid for all the equipment, and now they are still covering the day-to-day operations of this business. This is not the family business. This is just something on the side for Tam. And their older brother, Jim, he has not graduated high school even. He went to jail early on. When he was 16, he got caught for selling weed, and in their state, it was highly illegal. He is now a felon because of the amount of weed that he got caught with and the amount of drugs he was selling. So after school, Jim got sent to a halfway house and he had to get sober, and then he had to go ahead and do a ton of community service. He has never worked a real job, and he went ahead and didn't have any way to make real money. He tried to go ahead and become a live streamer, but he is not very great at it. He gets like 1 to 2 people watching him. He doesn't really stream much, but his family is financially supporting him in every way. He lives in a trailer on their property, and they pay for all the bills and for his just basic lifestyle, lots of fast food, and his video game addiction. Julia, on the other hand, she graduated high school, she got lots of scholarships and then went ahead and went to a state university. She graduated with a full ride scholarship in a got her finance degree. She's now allowed to go ahead and sell stocks. She got a basic accounting degree and is able to handle taxes as well, just like her father. So after college, her father hired her to go ahead and help him with his business. If you don't know this about the accounting business, it's very stressful and has lots of long hours. And so lately, her father has been going through a lot of health issues and is now going ahead and having to retire because of the heart attacks he's having. And so Julia ended up buying this business from her father. But now that her father is not wanting to deal with the business, the family isn't having enough to support the two brothers. The two brothers are now going ahead and they're very upset that they can't have a full ride because the youngest brother, Tam's business, is not successful enough to go ahead and run itself. It's not profitable in any way and is losing a six-figure amount every year. And, you know, Jim, he's not even doing anything at all. And so they don't want to go ahead and get a job in any way. Mom has now been getting on to Julia, the only successful sibling, who has been struggling to run a new business because there's more tasks that she has to do. She is making a profit in this business, and it is a six-figure amount, mid six figures, but the amount that her two brothers are asking for will eat up 80% of the profits. And so she doesn't want to pay for this because it's 80% of the profits are going to the brothers, and then 20% is going to the loans to buy the business from her father. The father is not wanting to go ahead and deal with the stress of running the business or going ahead and helping out with the family drama because of his heart problems that he's having. He wants to just go ahead and rest and get better and then be a retiree because he wants to go ahead and travel the world and have fun. But Julia, she needs her father to say, well, it is successful, but it isn't successful enough to continue paying for the brother's lifestyle, right? If you look at the finances, it's not successful enough, and that's why they don't have, a dividend portfolio to just hand over to the brothers, right? It is successful, but not like seven figures a year, eight figures a year. Well, the brothers, they need to go ahead and basically take down their lifestyle a little bit if they want to go ahead and continue living the way they were. But the dad is not doing this, right? He's just sitting around trying to recover, which fair, right? You're having heart problems and you could, you know, pass away from this. It makes sense to go ahead and just let the dad recover. But she is struggling now trying to explain to her mother, who is not listening, um, it's a problem, right? And now they had to go ahead and deal with this family drama, right? And Julia, she doesn't want to pay for this. It's very expensive. So her plan is to go ahead and just stop paying for it and go cold turkey, cut off her family in every way. But it doesn't make sense to do that, I don't think. Right? This is an extreme measure for something that shouldn't have to be, right? Family is important. Recommend for you to do is to just go ahead and show the mom the books, right? And that's what you should do before you go ahead and explain to her. If she doesn't accept this at this point, then go ahead and maybe cut them off for a little bit. But I don't think running away and hiding about this makes the most sense. All right. This has been a while now. Julia has sent me an update on her problems. Last time I remember she was dealing with her brothers not working and needing lots of money. One of them was running a business who was unprofitable, and one of them was just sitting around spending lots of money on gambling and going ahead and sitting around all day. And so, from this update, um, Julia said that she ended up showing the mom the books, like I said, that she should do. The books do show profit, and the mom saw that. And they went ahead and they did accept that it is making a profit. Everyone accepts that logic. But the mom doesn't like that Julia's business is making six figures a year and could technically afford that. So she went ahead and showed her that the loan payments are taking up a good bit of the other stuff. And so now the mom is trying to go and continue to make her pay for this, right? And so now the dad finally did step in. They have talked, and they do have enough for retirement, and that came from selling the business. But they finally talked about it. They sat down and said, well, it doesn't make sense for her to pay for this since the loan payment is technically funding our lifestyle now. We can't afford to go ahead and continue paying for these two brothers. So the two brothers have now been told by the father they need to go out and get a job. And the youngest brother did. He went out and got a job working at a store. And now he is working there. It's not very much, but it is enough to go ahead and cover the downside of the business. He's cutting off some of his friends, laying them off, and he's going to be taking over some of the routes. So now he has enough to go ahead and make a profit. But the other brother, the oldest, Tim, he went ahead and he couldn't get a job because he's a felon. And so now he's trying to go ahead and get a job in Julia's business, but they don't have a job right now available. So he's still suffering and he's trying to look for a job. And they cut down on his payments right now just to a living amount. He's getting $500 a month instead of having $10,000 a month. So it's a big difference, and he is looking for a job. Hopefully he'll find one soon. I bet he will, right? Maybe Walmart will hire him. I'm not sure 100% on the felon rules over at Walmart, but I do think that in time she will get through this. And I'm glad that she didn't cut off her family altogether, because that's an extreme measure that can't really easily be taken back. I am happy that the family ended up taking all these lessons together and they are now working. Hopefully, the dad stays more involved, even though it is drama. Hopefully, he can get through it and he can actually get better now that the drama is over. But if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Send me your stories. I will read through them and I'll give you some advice. Help you guys out. So,